joining us. And final rituals are underway at the Ga state to outdoor the new chief of the Ga traditional area, King Takiteko Chiru II. The installation of the new chief took place over the weekend. Now, one of the kingmakers, Jase chair of the Ga state, Ni Tete Kwe II, has called on the public to ignore one of the claimants to the Ga stool, Ni Adamalache, who is parading himself as chief of the Ga state. He describes him as illegitimate. Heavy security presence has characterized the installation over the weekend and remains the same this morning as traditional leaders continue with induction rituals of the new Gamanche, Ni Takiteko Chiru II. The Ga Chieftancy institution has been embroiled in many disputes, with many cases in court challenging the legitimacy of one of the claimants to the stool, Ni Adamalache. Joy News' Matilda Wemega will be joining us soon with the latest. But first, Maxwell Agbagba was at Gamashi in Accra over the weekend for the installation of King Takiteko Chiru II.
We're currently here in Gamashi. What is happening today is the installation of the new Gamanche, Ni Takiteko II. Well, what we understand is that on Friday there was a ceremony to induct him as the new Gamanche. But what is happening today is that they are taking him to 5 different shrines here at Gamashi in the Ga state. We now coming from Sakuma way, but where we're heading to right now is called the Dantu Shrine, where some rituals would also be performed. Well, behind me, there are a lot of young men coming from behind. The chief himself is also coming. A lot of them have with them muskets, but police officers here will not allow them to fire the musketry. There's heavy police presence also here in the Ga state as the installation and induction ceremony is being carried out. I have with me here the public relations officer to the newly installed Gamanche. Mr. Heriado, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you.
Tell me, what is happening here today?
Currently, we're going through the various streets of Gamashi. We are heading towards the Dantu Shrine for now. And we started early in the morning, first from the Onomroko Adang Shrine, that is the Kolewe Shrine. Then we moved on to the Nayewe Shrine, where the Naye Ulamo Numo Akwa had to perform some of the induction ceremony by inducting him into his stool house. Then we moved on to Sakumo Ulomo Shrine and also came for the induction into the Sakumo Ulomo Shrine. And there we were met by the Jase chair, Dr. Ni Tete Kwe, who is the legitimate Jase chair for the Ga state. That's the paramount to Jase.
I want you to tell me this. We know the many issues, surrounding the chieftain's institution here in the Ga state. Now, I want you to tell us, with the installation of this Ga chief, there are many who are scared. There's heavy police presence here to ensure that there's no chaos, there's no violence here. Now, I want you to explain to me, first of all, the many issues characterizing the, chieftain's institution.
Being Greater Accra Regional Minister for a bit over 1 year, almost 2 years, what were some of your high points? What were some of the challenges?
It was challenging. Chieftancy dispute in Accra, which
never seems to go away.
Yeah, and you try to do your best, and a lot of man hours. You waste a lot of man hours trying to mediate. And then sanitation was also a problem. Sanitation.
Being somebody who's an indigene of Mungwa, did you have any finger pointing from the people from Gamashi or any other?
No. A guy is a guy, so we're all guys. Okay. So I had no problem. In fact, the interesting thing is that my mother also hail from Atupai. So I have that connection to me. So they also were proud to have me as a regional minister.
So you took over from who exactly?
My Gizo, yes.
That's correct.
It was quite challenging, I must admit. And I was young, but I think that I did my best.
Okay. So you were there at a time when E.T. Who was then is it the time that Nuno Amatefi was
the mayor of Accra? Yes, Amatefi was the mayor of Accra. But it was changed, and Adukwadu was brought in.
Ado.
Yeah, was brought in for about 1 year or so. Yeah, Matefiu was there, and the work in Accra was quite challenging. Flood and sanitation, and I was always on the field.
What was the plan for the Koli at the time?
We had a restoration project.
Was it a new project or something it was to meet?
It was on the drawing board at the AME, where we, I think, the Odo River and about 21 other secondary drains. We were trying to channel all of them into one to move in, and then to make the recreational area. But it was quite difficult because moving people. I mean, sometimes our democracy said that when somebody does the right thing and want to do the wrong, somebody does the wrong thing and want to do the right thing, then you have civil societies coming in, right? They have a right, they have this, but for example,
the young man who is superintendent over Greater Accra region, what were some of your desires? You wanted to be known for something when you were the minister in charge of Greater Accra. What were some of
Number one, I was able to move. The Gans wanted, especially from Temateshin La Nungwa, they wanted some, what do you call it? They wanted paramountcy, right? They were all divisional. And I had to discuss that with the overlord, that it was Niabugi, several times to elevate them. It was quite difficult, but I got it. And that gave, because you see, you go to the regional House of Chiefs meeting, and from the Ghana side, it was only Niabugi who was the paramount chief. So it was difficult for somebody from the Ghana side to be the president of the region. So those days you could hear of Azuma, Azuma, is it? No, that, I forgot it, I'll get it. They were always from the Dangwe side, and there was that complaint, right? And Niabugi was sick.
Yeah, for a long
time. So it meant that they were not well represented. And that was the fight. So I had to sit with Niabugi to elevate them. And I remember the day he agreed with me, I went to my office, typed a letter for him to release, because I don't want to leave and somebody will go and change his mind. Went to him, he signed the letter, and straight I gave it to the media and they announced. And then we started the process of, and that's how come we have now Nongwa as a paramount divisional, paramount this thing. Teshi is now paramount this thing. So they were happy with that one. The next thing I did, which cost me and Okanja the election, was the Jamestown, the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse, you know, they had a slaughterhouse. Yeah. You know, we built one at the Spinters there, the abattoir. I went to Jamestown, and my brother, if you see how they prepare these things for us, you never take meat. And I felt that, look, we need to do something about this. So we decided to pull the place down. They told me in clear language that if I tie this thing, don't vote for us, we'll lose the election. They told me on Okanja. Okanja was then the Minister for Interior, but he was the MP of the area, so I needed to collaborate with him. Yeah. So we said, look, if we can save people's lives and let these people push us out, well, I mean, but we hope that they will see wisdom in that and change their minds. So we pulled the thing down. They sorted us, we pulled the thing down and said to move them to the abattoir there. They really did what they said. Okanja lost a lot. Yeah. But I think that if you are in office, you should think of the people. Sometimes you see, the people who want to move into fire because maybe at that time it is convenient to move that way. Yeah. But the effect of moving into the fire, sometimes some few people mislead majority because they're opinion leaders. So when you are in a public position like that and you see it, you have to help the people. And once they've been brainwashed to believe that what you've done is wrong, they will not move with you. But in the long run, they will move.
But years down the line, the abattoir, what happened to it?
The abattoir over there? At the Spintex. I think they've not been, we lost the election, so we couldn't continue to push them now to move there. Yeah. And normally when a new government comes, this sort of mob politics and all those things to behave as if you are the saint and the pope. then you relax some of the distance. And that's one of the problems we are facing in this country. How to continue.
Because the abattoir is still
It's still
operating,
there.
yeah.
If you go, you see my name there. Joshua Labi, the plaque. I went to commission it. It's there.
Wow.
Right? But
the one in Accra too is still there.
yeah, we pulled ours down.
Yeah.
But I think that they've done
Something just sprung up again.
Yeah, but I think we need to do something. If we want to
What are some of your regrets when you were Greater Accra Regional Minister? Things that you believe that you should have done on hindsight that you didn't do.
A regional minister, you don't have a lot of power. The power.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why they call the place the Regional Coordinating Council. The assemblies are the power, right? So you needed to be somebody who could push them to do the right thing. And if you are lucky and you get support from local government ministry and the president, then you can push your things through.
Okay.
At that time, people even thought that the mayor of Accra was stronger than the regional minister.
Well,
right?
in Accra,
Yeah,
in Kumasi, we always thought
yeah,
so.
you needed to be very, very aggressive. I don't know of one thing, but I wanted to do an internal system where I could sit in my office to monitor their performance. And I started it, but we lost the election, so we couldn't continue. And because I wanted to be in charge.
Yeah.
I was able to do that when I went to the north, to be in charge.
Yeah.
So I was able to do my work.
Okay.
Yeah, the north, when I went, the first thing I did was to reshuffle all the coordinating, the directors of the district. You are from Slag, I move you to the Tamale. You are from this. You see, some were resisting it. Then I'll call and tell you that if you resist moving from here to here.
And it is now limited to some communities in Accra. You visit schools and then they don't teach Ga. And Ga children are learning other languages, even in their homeland. And just this week before the basic education certificate examination started, a little Ga child, a girl called Claudie, put up on Facebook that she was going to write the exams with pain, knowing that she was going to write a different language other than her mother tongue. And my younger brother, who stays at Oyarifa, is studying a different language right here in Accra. And it will be so sad to know that you are the one overseeing the region and this is happening on the land.
Yes. At a certain level, like the basic level where languages are compulsory, that you must do them. So to go through your training or examination to pass, to continue with your education, then it will be very bad for people to be forced to learn a language that they are not prepared to do so. The Ga people themselves, with the problems that they are having, like the Ga Manche issue, it's another thing. We are there that we cannot even determine who our leader is. The whole Ga state cannot say this is our leader. So people are doing what they want to do.
Oh, no, but that's why personalities like you are there. If the Mancheme are not coming together to find reason to promote the language, you are there representing the region.
Yes, we can start something, you understand, but it becomes political. And it's very dangerous when you don't think that. Let's assume there is somebody who have been placed at a certain level who have no interest in the language that we speak, or he cannot even speak the language, and therefore the interest is not there. And then I come out to say that this person should be removed, or this person shouldn't be there because he cannot. My argument is that because that person cannot speak Ga, and that because of that he has no interest in the Ga, and that is the main reason why our young ones are not studying Ga. Politically, they pick this thing up, and there is a way to dress up dress up political issue. They will dress this thing up, and maybe for 1 week, I will not have my peace.
But no, there is a policy that in every region, at least the dominant or the indigenous language should be taught. So why not in Accra too?
Yes.
Because in other regions, it is done across board.
Yes, because they have an organized system. Organized system that everybody is really concerned about it. This is an issue where when even you want the guns to come and talk, you don't see who to come and talk.
It could be that you didn't search for the right people, the right Ga people to come up and talk.
The right Ga, that is where politics come in. I'm a political party person. Now, if I want to do something which have influence on government or which will bring something out of government, there might be somebody sitting out there who is a CPP person, well knowledgeable, very good, who can do that thing better than the person that I'm bringing from the MPP. It will not speak very well of me. It will create a whole lot of problem. But if the Ga people, in their own institution, from their own background, comes out to, because they will not look at politics. They will come. We are Gans. We have a culture. We have our own values, and this is where we want to go. And therefore, it is Atakwe who is the right person to lead this agenda without looking whether it's MPP, it's NDC, or it's CPP. He comes and lead that process. We may be able to achieve something. If today I come out here to say that, look, nobody should, or we are not going to agree that other languages to be taught in schools in Accra, and it's only Ga that we should do. You just see how...
Oh, no, I want to hear something like this from you. That's what the people are requesting you to do, that it could be. That you are not saying that they should stop teaching other languages in Accra. Yes. The Ga people who are complaining that their language is sinking want the regional minister, Honorable Ishmael Ashite, to say that the Ga language should be made constant so that the other languages could be optional. So when you move into the school, the basic thing there is Ga, for the Ga children to be able to learn the Ga. So the other languages too are there for the others who can't learn or who wouldn't want to learn the Ga, to be able to learn their mother tongue. But it shouldn't be that you move through the schools and the other languages are being taught in Accra, and then there is no Ga teacher, there is no Ga being taught. So it's like the children are deprived. So the minister should be able to direct that in the home region, there should be Ga taught in all the schools for the Ga children to also have access.
Yeah, you are talking of, I can make a proposal that Ga should be taught in the district.
The policy is there, Honorable. Yes. It's a matter of implementing, having the policy implemented.
Yes. And you don't have, maybe you don't even have the teachers.
They are there. When they graduate, then they are rather sent to other regions, which is another problem your office.
It's not my office. It's the education of this thing. You see,
which is under your office.
No, it is the regional director who we work with here. She also takes instruction from her minister. It should be, if that is the situation, it should be a conscious effort that, look, Ga should be the main language in the Greater Accra region. And I'm telling you, if you go and say so, you are going to have a very serious challenge coming from other people.
Why should it be so?
The problem that people, I've spoken to some of them, the accounts will tell you that the enormous in Greater Accra is bigger than the Ga people themselves. Whether it's true, I for now.
But the land is in theirs. Yes. This is the homeland of the Ga people.
Yes. But they will say that, well, the people on the land who are going to be the beneficiaries of the language. Because, excuse me to say, the land will not learn any language. It is the people on the land who will learn. So they will tell you that the enormous are very big.
What's your personal take on this?
No,
and the fact is not to show other languages, but give the Ga people or the Dangbe people their fair share of the cake. Yes. You can teach the other languages, but teach the Ga, the Dangbe languages too.
That is what it should be. That if you go to a school and they say we will not, or we are not teaching Ga, it's not fair. It's not good that you go to a place they say we are not teaching Ghana. There must be a Ghana teacher. What we are saying, that means there must be a Ghana teacher in every Ghana community school or where we have this. But you see, that is not the issue. You see that the transfer of teachers is done by the Ministry of Education. They don't look at the background of the teachers or the type of languages they do that. You see, the system actually in Accra is not working in our favor because so many things are going wrong. And apart from the political leadership that can come out and which people can easily attack whenever you do something, we need our indigenous institutions in Greater Accra to work. And that is why I'm seriously conscious fighting to make sure that the Ghana people have genuine Ghana leaders like Mancheme, Wulome. This must be genuine. Somebody, when he comes up, everybody will respect and believe that this is the right person, that nobody will point hands that it shouldn't be the chief. Because when people start thinking that you should not be the chief, the way they will address you, the way they talk to you, other people will not give you that respect again. So we must start from somewhere. And I have spoken to them that, look, we need to get people in authority. We must think of teachers who will take these positions to teach the language. Then we must think of educationists, people who are at the top level, who will be coming out with educational policies to be also looking at it in that direction.
What will be your commitment to work somewhat to ensure that this language sinking, the Ghana language sinking is resolved?
I am seriously committed.
Personally, what are you going to do?
No, we, like I said, at the background, we will always advise them.
In your capacity as the regional minister?
In my capacity, I will be very happy when Ghana is taught here in Accra. All Ghana areas, Ghana communities, we teach Ghana there. But like I said, it's a long process, very long, because we have to look at the education ministry, the type of trainings that we get for our teachers. Like you said, some of them are there, but they've been taken to other places. What is the system that is taking them away? What do we do about all those things?
Would you take this challenge to make your office look into it?
Yes, we will. We will, you see, but some of the narratives have to be done by the Ghana leadership. We can do what our part. You understand? We can do our part. I sit here, so many things come to me. But the fact of the matter is that there are some things that I cannot be seen to be leading in its implementation. Somebody else should do some of those things. If we have to, I can quietly advise my colleagues or advise the president that, look, let's look at the policy where teachers are taken away from, Ghana teachers are taken away, sent to maybe Northern region teachers are taken, so it becomes very difficult for our children to learn our languages. Let's look at that. Government will start looking at it. Nobody will hear of that because I can't come out and start as if I am shouting of things against my own government. This one we have to, Ghana people say, are you on me? We'll go behind closed doors and speak about those ones. But, you know, if we have very intelligent Ghana leaders, they will take this thing up. Because they will pick the signal that their children are speaking maybe Akan when they come home. Why is that happening? And they will start the revolution from that level and then come up. So we must all work to make sure that the leadership system in Greater Accra or Ghana works.
Oh, let them talk. Let them go. No, you on there. nakani wogale laje ni ojayo mo ne shishine me no bia me ne fen to akeshi kan laje lele hu e laje e ja ke mini wo kan nya ba wo mi what is school fee why I si wo pe fonfo ni blema eji loko ni amano ado akeshi compose o ba kaseka oni nkashine nkane okawa wo lega kusun nibi ojoban yenjele mana elaje mi no elaje o ka awomoko gbe ni eya kase gan e ko gan tomo noko ni akeshi ilibese na mako ora ni na dino akọ le tomo ibese na ko wo ka ya kase gan po ne gbe gan na ke e gba fa ya be wo gan no shi kote o ya la e water reading ke di many ya school many ya school je me fe kon pe ama me kasi ame no e fe oni wo le ni ble mani e compose no ko ne kashi yen na ka no kashi je me ki ma mi na ka shi wo kan me be ake wo ka ble ko ma ko wa ko na ko de to no wo ene wo won laje wo kan kwa wo keja keshi amna lo ye no ko le ba fe alo wo district ye no ko le ba fe ye ne ke ganwe mo ne here ame bo mo de na me kana na ma I am like only ka wo akeshi oh ke awobogbe no bi akase gan ka shi to mo bone akaka mokuti national service de gbe na e ba service government ke ja keshi akene ke mla na ko mashi ake bohu ka oti akase gan the first better ni patron ni o ton na ka gan ka fi enu monjo afi egbedu the first be chi ke bi e ama mo no ko ka jo ode o ka shi e no ko ko mba wo gan dane e jame shika ni afi na ka mla ka ma she wo dane gan e wo ni ni wo na ka ja ke government ba nu ni le we ba ko no ko ka jame e afi nu aka shi mla ko ni ba ka sha ke bo kan no fe kan no ba ka se gan e ko lo ba le gonjo ba ke to su ko ya ka se no gbe na ba se bi gan for 4 years or 3 years you have to come back.
What assurances are you giving the people in the region that when you are approved, you will take an action to make sure that teachers are trained not only in Ga language but across the country in their various languages so that they could be posted to those regions in order to enhance our children's cultural values by learning their local mother tongues?
Mr. Chairman, I take this as a very important advice from my colleague, and it's something I'm going to seriously look into.
Usumi na ke ba fe ko me pre yu ebo awo e ko me pre ni yu ebo awo ji Kristo jamo no ni ko ake Kristo ja wo ble ma cheme amele ake boko bojele achola ta na anyombo o pleje achola shiche ni wala yije mo lalai wo ha ale ni bi pele lala ni blema bi ele ake ehie ata hewale ni ehie awosu mo e wa achola ata na nyombo shi blema bi ye amesusu ake bafoi ni yo ame ye fai gonji ke papoi ke te yamle no e wo blema bi e cho ame je ma woji no ka me sole ame ha opleje ame to je ma woji na no na me ke sole no blema sande papa shielo Andres Rees me ke ni na ma me ha wo ba le ake atana nyomo e bi ko mi na sole o ke chon eno ni ji Yesu ni wo nyeme mosenfo ho ha wole ake alahu ni ji atana ni wole no ji opleje sinoni ta o makeji gbejano no gbejano to no ke ja opleje nge brema bi e ba flo ehe ajankaye lelen wo ja le ye gbe ko ma no ne kwa ba ho fotoli na ka ba pa ye ke ko meshi fe opleje de akaya ne ke asole ha opleje ake chon ne ke fai ni jijema wo ji na no no peje kusun mansani ni hie hawo aka me ba sahi ne fefeo sheri ka me pa agbe ye be pe me yo tomo wo cheme le nyombo ni ameja awoji wo cheme le nyombo shi gbano na me ba cho me ke ja nyombo ji he na me ka ton jema woji ano ni brema bi e amebe wo cheme ke wonko eje egbe fa ba shi jema woji ame susu ake ameji bofo Gabriel Michael ke bofo ye no pe yan me no kwa ke no pe yan wo an ba tro wo ni me si great shele mo mene yi no bi na shele awon ashele wu ya afuko ke no na jemi e ba ni won na bo na dwahia wo ameba to won ke trouser na ewo ni ji won nyeme ye Ngono bra ye pie wo trouser me be mo makome ya madeka bi. Obla ye pie le house. Obla ye ba ye. Ninyale ameba ton wo fried rice yele. Ehun obla ye pie ta la tehe. No ewa obla ye pie ye ni ko ka echi jiji bi anesa na eba. Obla ye pie le banku chimo. Ni wo ni ani nkometoma abrongo ashanku. Amese shimbule. No ne ke fried rice ni ani jo mona ke fo efe. Ni mene ne ton hele ha woni. Wo blema ni for fire me. Wo gamani de for fire me. Si ni ha wo he wale. No wo game wo he wa. E ja ke ni ha wo. No e be na pe wo cha zuma na sin tabie. Fred Robertson ke DK Poison. I quote it. Koko ba che atre no loy. Ye genko die dwa na fe abashi kweku potenko. Ni amenye ame klo akekele afemo femo fe game. Genko die dwa na fe ba ye Irish bi, ba ye British bi. Nyale aya Jew aya Iron bi.
Genko die dwa na fe
game ni eje wakusun kenklen bo gan famo bi atombo henwa. Atombo nyangwa gbe ye shemu. Yakusun gbe jano tona. Na atombo hewale wo ni no yo. Wani femo. E ha wo hewane wo wa agboje no. Shimene wa amablema bi ani bi ni wakusun na ho e. Ye fa na kusun na ho e bi ane ka afọ akenya so mo tumi na ya ji ekpo brofo kusun ni. Wo game no ni for HSE. Wo kuno bani Yesu eche Joseph fole akalete Nazareth ye Bethlehem ni ayawo gbe ni HSE awo gbe ngena wo gbe so mo tumi ni mini o ni eyin akechese bobile ka afọ kenklen akpe awoku efende bu awoku na ni ji enyo bobile ka abokita oba tonde na ni noye adu amale gahu me ko yo tada ni oyuo ni aba awoku ma bi koni amefe kome kakwa susuma no otutu chekwa na nyo ekwa oboke ya school brafo me chekwa kokwa oboke ya school wa ma menie aya nyama shiake na ma shiake ni ma sha ayoni mene bele na kakwa obapo awo ato eje brafo machine le ni kaji afọ huwe aba shade papa aha abifawe ake oke edimba oke yen aya ni aba joma ha mo fe mo ake ka woje buwe woje nuno woye nu wonue wokoji ana ajowo wotako dro ka po e ka gbe he ko fe wodudo na wo pa ni wo gbla ba sheshi ko maye mi no ka woje buwe woje nuno brema ni pipe be shikwa acha ni nuba ko ya chashia ni nuba o to le fe fulu besano acha he ko kro oje bu oje ko nuno yo ka acha he ko ni nuba no oyo nue sano ko jana ajobo shi he ko ya ni na ka nue to fa ya mi ko nu o musumba atu no ka wo tuni ni se na mo ba he e wo tuni se na ni se na mo fe jo mo yawo oyo ani